You cancel plans with a friend, and instead of guilt, you feel this wave of relief. Your shoulders drop. Your breath slows down. You're not a bad person. You're just an introvert. And here's the thing nobody tells you. That relief, it's not laziness. It's not social anxiety. It's your nervous system finally getting permission to stop performing. Because for introverts, socializing isn't just tiring, it's expensive. Every conversation, every group dinner, every let's catch up text costs energy you can't always afford to spend. But nobody sees that. What they see is someone who's quiet, distant, or worse, unfriendly. And over time, you start wondering if maybe they're right. Maybe there is something wrong with you. Maybe you should try harder to be more outgoing, more available, more like everyone else. Except you can't. Because being an introvert isn't a personality flaw. It's wiring. It's how your brain processes the world. And there are things you wish people understood about that. Things you've been holding inside because saying them out loud feels like making excuses or asking for special treatment. So let's say them, because you're not asking for pity. You're asking for translation. Here's what introverts secretly wish others understood. Silence doesn't mean sadness. It means processing. When you go quiet in the middle of a conversation, people assume something's wrong. They ask if you're okay. They try to draw you out. And you have to smile and say, yeah, I'm fine, even though what you really want to say is, I'm thinking, give me a second. Because here's what most people don't realize. For introverts, thinking happens internally first. You don't talk to figure out what you think. You think to figure out what to say. Extroverts process out loud. They throw ideas into the air and see what sticks. But you run a full simulation in your head before opening your mouth. You test the sentence. You consider how it'll land. You edit it 3 times before it ever reaches your lips. That takes time. And when someone interrupts that process with, "Why are you so quiet?" it's like yanking the power cord out mid-save. You lose your train of thought. And now, instead of contributing something meaningful, you're stuck explaining why you weren't talking in the first place. Silence, for you, isn't empty. It's full. It's where the work happens. Canceling plans isn't flaky. It's survival. You made plans on a Tuesday when you felt fine. But now it's Friday night, and the idea of leaving your house feels like climbing Everest in flip-flops. So you cancel. And you know how it looks. You know people think you're unreliable, or that you don't care, or that you're bad at friendship. But here's what they don't see. You're not canceling because you don't like them. You're canceling because you've hit empty. Because you've spent the entire week performing. Smiling at coworkers, making small talk in elevators, pretending you have the energy for one more, "How was your weekend?" when all you want is silence and a locked door. Modern life is built for extroverts. Open office plans, networking events, group projects, team building exercises. Everything is designed to extract social energy from you, and there's no socially acceptable way to say, "I need 3 business days to recover from existing near people." So you cancel. Not because you're selfish, but because if you don't, you'll show up as a shell of yourself, and that's not fair to anyone. We choose few people because loyalty is expensive. Extroverts collect people. They have work friends and gym friends and friends from that thing I went to once. And that's great for them. But for introverts, friendship isn't a numbers game. It's an investment. Because here's the truth. You don't have unlimited social bandwidth. You can't spread yourself across 20 different people and still show up as the friend you want to be. So you choose carefully. You pick a small circle of people who feel like home, and you pour everything into them. That doesn't make you cold. It makes you intentional. When you let someone in, it means something. It means they've earned access to the version of you that doesn't need to perform, the version that can sit in comfortable silence and not feel pressured to fill the air with noise. But people mistake that for being standoffish. They think you don't like them because you didn't invite them to your birthday party. They don't realize your birthday party is 3 people eating takeout on your couch. And that's not a slight. It's sacred space. You don't hate people. You just can't do it all the time. This is the big one. The thing people get wrong more than anything else. They assume that because you need alone time, you must dislike socializing. That because you turn down invitations, you must not enjoy company. But that's not it at all. You like people. You love deep conversations. You value connection. You just can't do it at the frequency and intensity that the world demands. Think of it this way. Socializing, for extroverts, is like plugging into a charger. It gives them energy. But for you, it's like running Photoshop and 17 browser tabs on a laptop that's already at 12% battery. It drains you. And if you don't close some tabs and plug in, alone, you're going to crash. That's not antisocial. That's self-preservation. And honestly, maybe the world needs more of that. Maybe we'd all be better off if we stopped treating constant availability as a virtue and started respecting the fact that some people recharge in quiet, not chaos. The culture we live in worships noise. It rewards people who speak first, speak loudest, speak most. You've probably never seen a job listing that says, looking for someone who listens more than they talk, or must be skilled at sitting quietly and thinking deeply. But those are strengths, real ones. Introverts see things other people miss, because while everyone else is talking, you're watching. You're noticing body language, tone shifts, the things people don't say. You're the one who remembers the offhand comment someone made 3 weeks ago and connects it to what's happening now. You're the one who solves problems by thinking them through, not by throwing spaghetti at the wall in a brainstorming session. The world doesn't celebrate that enough, but it should. Because here's the truth. Not everything worth saying needs to be said loudly. Not every important moment happens in a crowd. And not every valuable person is the one commanding the room. Some of the most brilliant minds in history were introverts, the ones who disappeared into libraries and labs and came back with ideas that changed everything. The ones who didn't need an audience to think, just space and time and silence. So if you're an introvert, stop apologizing. Stop forcing yourself into molds that don't fit. Stop pretending that your need for solitude is something to fix. And if you're not an introvert, but you love one, here's what you can do. Stop asking them why they're quiet. Stop guilt-tripping them for needing space. Stop assuming that their boundaries are personal rejections. Understand that when they choose to spend time with you, it costs something, and they're choosing you anyway. That's not nothing. That's everything. Because introverts don't give their energy away freely, but when they do, it's real. It's deep. It's the kind of loyalty that doesn't evaporate when things get hard. Maybe the world doesn't need more noise. Maybe it needs more people who know how to listen. More people who think before they speak. More people who understand that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just be still. And maybe, just maybe, being an introvert isn't something you need to overcome. It's something the rest of the world needs to start understanding.